Good afternoon or good morning, depending on where you are in the world. This is a roaming prepper channel. I'm your host, Pete. As you can see, I am on the road again because I spend a lot of time doing that. Want to talk about these tariffs. I've already had one troll come into my last video. He's like, you're either deluded or don't understand how things work because, you know, it's the new world order. Man, every president is trying to create a world order. Every leader tries to create a world order. And us sitting around pouting about it is worthless. It does nothing. It helps nothing. And, you know, that individual who may show up on my channel again, maybe not. I've never seen him before. Honestly, you can choose to be sad and angry and negative by yourself. I'm going to try and give people direction, look at the positive, but be realistic in things that can happen. Now, one thing that does concern me, though, about the tariffs, which I don't think anyone's really thought of, right? We're looking at prices, we're looking at inflation, and some people like this knucklehead, oh, it's a new world order. There's all sorts of powers trying to create world orders. This is something that will never go away in our lifetime. And it's been throughout history. Kings and queens, lords and leaders all want to create their own vision of the world. From Alexander the Great all the way up to the Caesars and to Hitler and all these other guys. So that's not what I'm worried about. But when you have interconnected economies the way we do now, and you have one country with a lot of influence, the US, putting a lot of pressure on other countries, specifically China, that also has resources. Their economy is almost entirely based on us buying their crap. We are now hurting that. And their economy does not have a lot of other options to go to, right? Japan, and also you have countries like Japan, India, Malaysia, the Philippines, who are very interested in taking market share from China. What worries me, and Tom Clancy touched on this, and it wasn't in Sum of All Fears, it was another book, and I can't remember the name of the damn book now. And I like Clancy because he actually thought about the interconnectedness of these countries. One of the things that worried him was that China gets into some kind of economic debacle and they start to panic because they're a communist country, and unlike, say, the US or the UK or even the Russians, who have people who disagree with the leader, and there's, you know, there's conversations and debates, although granted Putin poisons people who debate with him, but that's besides the point. In China, you don't see that, right? And you get groupthink. And granted, we can get groupthink in any government in any country, but in China, it's more profound because you don't have a free press. You don't have competing, political parties who are keeping an eye on each other, right? As annoying as they may or may not be, having different political parties with different opinions actually keeps everyone honest to a point, because everyone is waiting to jump on the other guy. So you always have someone watching for you to screw up, is what I'm saying. You don't have that in China, right? When the committee says we're doing something, we're going to do it. And Clancy's scenario was that China gets into an economic debacle. And in his case, it was actually, this was back in the 90s, 80s, he wrote this book. His concern was that a Islamic group representing the western part of China, who they've been getting attacked and treated very badly, goes and blows up a bunch of their refineries and just absolutely screws up their infrastructure. And in their panic, they decide the solution to this is to go attack South Korea, the Philippines, and Malaysia for the oil and rubber. And that sets off a chain reaction, which basically drops us into a World War III. and I'll have to find the title of the book. It was one of my favorite books, and for some reason I'm drawing a blank on the title of that book. But therein lies the question, is the pressure we're putting on China enough to where they may overreact? And not, oh, we're going to tariff you, or oh, we're going to sanction you, but oh, our economy is tanking, we can't get oil, we can't get whatever we need, so we're going to turn around and go attack Siberia and try to take the minerals and oil from the Russians. We're going to turn around and attack, I don't know, the Philippines and take their fishery resources. That's something that bothers me, because I can see that happening. Unlike America, despite our fractured behavior, the media, the different political parties are always basically throwing each other under the bus, but everyone is always under scrutiny to some level. China's not. China's one big monolith of government. What if the wrong people make the wrong call? They just say, you know what? We need to do something drastic, and they pop off with Japan, or they pop off after Malaysia. Malaysia would be bad because that would screw up shipping, and it would probably get a bad reaction. But if they went after one of our closer allies, like the Japanese, like the Philippines, South Korea, that could very quickly escalate. And I don't know if China has the balanced thought process anymore for someone to raise their hand and say, hey, this is a phenomenally bad idea. So it remains to be seen how long this goes on. This may be pure conjecture on my part, but Clancy, he predicted a few things, and he was very well versed in how the geopolitics could very quickly become military action. And so this is something I'm going to be watching over the next few months, is will China overreact and either crash their own economy, which is absolutely possible, or even worse, decide to take military action and say, we need more resources, we're going to go after Taiwan, we're going to go pick a fight with Japan, we're going to pick a fight with the Philippines. And how is that going to play out? And are we in a position to react? Because there's a lot of speculation that it would be ugly for everyone, and I think it will be. So something to watch. Let's keep an eye on how China reacts to these tariffs. Not today, not this week, but over the coming months, if they don't get some kind of resolution. I'm super curious if this is going to come bite them in the ass at some point, and they're going to overreact. And now we're all going to wind up in an unexpected shit show. Much worse than anything going on in Russia, Ukraine right now. So keep an eye on that. I'm going to do some digging with some of the corporate resources I have and just see what's the pulse in that part of the world. And if I find something interesting, I'll bring it back, and preferably with references so you guys can look it up. But you guys be good, be safe out there. Watch how this stuff plays out, because that can very quickly spin our economies and our supply chains out of control. So you guys take care of yourselves out there.